Hello, and welcome to Spectral Searches. I've wanted to put together short videos to help explain some of the ghost hunting equipment. Again, I want to cover some of the history, some of the science, and some of the expected results, and some demonstrations of the results. I couldn't help but think of a better place to start than directly in the middle of controversy, the Ouija board. So I'm sure that this will get several people angry, bothered, worried, and annoyed. I'm sure many people will watch this and think, what an idiot, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But I think as I go through this video, there will be good grounds for discussion, and I think, and at least I hope, is grounds for discussion and not arguments. If you're afraid of Ouija boards, or if you know others that are afraid of Ouija boards, then maybe take caution with their use, both for yourself and out of respect for your friends and family. To begin, as I have said before, I don't believe in ghosts or a life after death, but I want there to be. Many people are afraid of ghosts, spirits, and demons. To me, these represent some sort of existence or some sort of expansion from our physical realm that we see around us each day. So to me, this isn't a scary thing. I have 11 Ouija boards in my apartment right now, 12 if you count the metal record that opens up into a Ouija board. I've been told by many that they wouldn't even come over into my home if they knew there was a Ouija board here, and frankly, I don't understand why. I don't understand why this product, amongst all the other options out there, is the one thing that we all cling to as the portal to the other side. After all, and here's the controversy, it's a toy. Ouija boards can go for $40 on the Walmart website, $19.99 on Amazon, $41 if you want the vintage look, and $15.99 at Indigo. I've seen Ouija boards from Supernatural, Harry Potter, Barbie, Glow in the Dark, Emily Strange. Novelty Ouija boards are a collector's item. On the side of the box it reads 8 and up. As someone once pointed out, it's okay for us to summon demons but not to vote or drink. When you open the box, the instructions read, look into the future, have fun, and remember, the Ouija board is just a game. Or is it? Not exactly a true cryptic message with the intent of saving 8-year-old children. There are 8 steps to this, none of which are salt circles, cleanse the room, none of which are specifying to close the gateways or to avoid calling out to negatively charged spirits. And while I'll get into this history of this a bit more later, these boards were coined initially by the Kennard Novelty Company in 1891. These boards are created by the company simply mirrored talking boards or witch boards or spirit boards. No one is afraid of the telegraphic spirit communicator or the spirit finger, but Ouija boards, terrifying. Now, to give credit where credit is due, the 18th anniversary Halloween issue of Rue Morgue has an amazing article on Ouija boards that I would highly recommend for anyone with interest. Much of the history described here will be with context to that. The Ouija board gets its roots from other previously modeled talking boards, spirit boards, or witch boards. These have been around for several years before the Kennard Novelty Company patented the name Ouija in 1890. Very early on, there were stories of Ouija boards that were alarming, however these tended to be with people's obsession with them. There's a lot of back and forth between who began the Ouija board, but eventually resulted in the Kennard Novelty Company being named the Ouija Novelty Company. Interestingly, the man placed in charge of the Ouija board's production would eventually die from falling from one of the roofs of one of his factories. Legend has it, he was given instruction by the Ouija board to build the factory in the first place in 1927. The boards were continually produced under the Ouija Novelty Company until 1966, where it was sold to the Parker Brothers. That company was later absorbed by Hasbro in 1991. Strange stories began as early as the 1920s, depicting the Ouija board's influence over people, such as mass hysteria, then in the 1930s patricide, and soon after, torturing of loved ones over alleged hidden fortunes. Movies continued to push the shift from a toy to a scary gate-opening object through many movies, such as 13 Ghosts in the 1960s, The Exorcist in the 1970s, Witch Board in the 1980s, and even more recent movies like Paranormal Activity, and even more specifically with the Ouija board itself, such as the movie Ouija in 2014. Our fascination with Ouija boards transcends the novelty toward fear, skepticism, mediums, and even some speculations that it may even help in diagnosis of neurodegenerative disorders. Online, I've seen videos of people making boards on pizza boxes and becoming possessed. I've seen studies of people spelling miraculous things while in a group, but utterly failing when blindfolded. I've heard that it's the ghost moving the planchette, moving the arms, moving the body, possessing people directly, and thus requiring their sight. There's always a reason why the Ouija board doesn't work, if it was under test conditions. As I've said, regardless of its accuracy or opinion, the Ouija board is marketed as a toy for children 8 and up. So what would make this something more than that to so many people? The biggest reasoning that I've heard is that it is used as a vessel for intent. You intend to summon ghosts, to commune with ghosts, to talk to ghosts. Use this item with intent. That explains why ghosts don't move coasters around in newspapers to talk to people or type into keyboards when Word documents are open. We need to open the gate to the other side with our intent. My counter to this is that there are many ghost hunting items that we utilize with intent. Dice, pendulum, REM pods, obelisk, spirit box, tarot cards, flashlights. We aren't afraid if someone says they're bringing a flashlight to try to talk to ghosts, but if you're going to bring a Ouija board, everyone freaks out. This is probably due to its history and portrayal in so many movies and TV shows. For some scientific looks, I will include articles in the description from NCBI. Unfortunately, peer-reviewed studies are harder to come by with a simple search because Drosophila melanogaster, the fruit fly, has a gene which was named Ouija Board. For the sake of keeping an open mind, maybe sometimes spirits need different methods to participate in the use of Ouija boards, which is why it's so inconsistent when it works and when it doesn't work. Maybe it depends on the entity itself. I think this approach is the most inclusive because I'm not discrediting anyone's individual experience with a board, but demonstrating the position that we use intent with many things, and we're going to be afraid of items with intent, then we shall either open up that fear or diminish that fear. If you've had your own experience, maybe it was the person you were with, maybe it was your own subconscious, or maybe it was a spirit working through you. I'm not saying it wasn't. I think that it's worth destigmatizing Ouija boards as long as they are used with respect for the dead, for yourself, and for your friends and family. If anything, we speak more directly with ghosts through EVP sessions and even through mediums. People rarely act scared if you say you're going to a psychic. That's more often approached with more skepticism. Throughout some of my investigations, I will use Ouija boards. If something happens, it will be all the more demonstration for all those that are afraid, and if nothing happens, perhaps it will be a demonstration that they aren't always a scary thing. Again, I want to go on this with an open mind. I'm not trying to be rude. To further this point, Spectral Searches is going to be utilizing a much larger procedure for the use of the Ouija boards. Here's the in-box instructions. 1. If desired, set the mood by dimming the lights or turning them off. 2. Before using the board, wipe it with a dry cloth to remove dust and moisture. 3. Sit opposite another player or farther around the board if more than 2 are playing. 4. Set the Ouija board either on the player's laps or on a small table between and within reach of the players. 5. Additional players are encouraged to look on and take note of the Ouija board's responses. 6. Set the planchette in the center of the Ouija board. 7. Place 2 fingers lightly on the planchette. And 8. Now, concentrate. And here will be our instructions for use to be more inclusive and more respectful of both friends, families, and the people that may or may not be using these boards. The Ouija board will only be used if all involved are comfortable. There will be no prejudice against anyone not comfortable with the use of the Ouija board. Pick a quiet place to hold your seance. You'll be able to focus better in a chill environment, like your bedroom or a quiet park. If you're inside, turn off all distractions, like the TV, so you'll be able to concentrate on the spirit world. Additionally, silence your phones if possible. Some people warn that you shouldn't use a Ouija board at your own house. Cleanse your space to remove negative energy. You can protect yourself from negative spirits by doing a simple cleansing before you start. To do a simple cleansing, light the end of a sage bundle and waft the smoke around your space. You might even say, I cleanse this space of all negativity. If you don't have sage, use some salt water to cleanse your space. Mix some table or sea salt into fresh water. Then, pray or meditate over it. Next, spray or sprinkle the water around the room while saying, with salt and water, I cleanse all negativity. Document on the form Periodic Recordings Checklist. Many locations will probably not want smoke cleansing to occur, so always check for permission prior to using sage or other burnt substances. Place your Ouija board on a table. Technically, you can use a Ouija board pretty much anywhere. At the same time, you'll be most comfortable sitting around a table. Just make sure the table is totally flat because you don't want the planchette sliding down on an incline. Your planchette is the pointer that slides around the Ouija board. Alternatively, try balancing the board on your legs instead. Traditionally, 2 players would sit opposite each other with their knees touching. Then you place the Ouija boards on your legs. If possible, light some candles to create an ambiance. Some candles even have special qualities that can help you connect with the spirits. Black candles are good for protection, white candles attract positive energy and repel negative energy, blue candles are great for communication, and purple candles can enhance psychic powers. If possible, burn some incense. Different incense may function attracting different ghosts or spirits. Historical searches may assist in determining which incense to use. Sage may be burnt to continue to bring about positive and cleansing energies. Turn off the lights if desired. Gathering around the Ouija board. Invite at least one friend to join you. According to the rules of Ouija, you need more than one person to use the board. It is often recommended not to use a Ouija board alone. Ask someone to take notes if you have more than 2 people. The board may be spelling out answers and it might be hard to keep up. It's easier to decipher answers if you have someone there to write out the letters. Since you can't take your fingers off the planchette while it's moving, have your note taker just watch. As it is possible that different people have different levels of ability to commune with the other side, it is recommended to take turns being the note taker so everyone gets a chance to touch the planchette. Sit in a circle around the board. When you're using the Ouija board, you're basically doing a seance. During a seance, it's traditional to sit in a circle, so spread out. Make sure everyone has space to touch the planchette. With 2 players, just sit across from each other because that'll form a tiny circle. Place your index and middle fingers on the planchette. Put the fingers on both of your hands on the planchette. Lightly touch it so that you aren't actually moving it. Then, position your planchette over the G on the Ouija board to get started. Don't overlap your fingers because that could put too much pressure on the planchette. Some theories specify that hello must be spelled out before starting. If leaving the board at G does not yield results, attempt to spell hello. Pick a medium to lead the session. The medium will start and end your session, and they'll lead the questioning. If any individual is sensitive to spirits, ask them to be the medium. Otherwise, choose whoever feels the most comfortable taking the lead. Asking questions. Welcome positive spirits into this space. To protect yourself, state out loud that you're only open to positive energy. That way, you're more likely to encounter a friendly spirit. We call upon the spirit world and welcome any kind spirits to talk with us. Spirits, we call to you. If you're good, come speak to us. Our circle invites positive spirits to use the Ouija board to communicate. Ask if there's a spirit with you. The easiest way to make contact is just ask if anyone is there. Is there anyone here now? Are there any ghosts that want to speak to us? Wait for an answer, which could take a little time. Repeat the question a few times if the planchette doesn't start moving after a minute or so. If it's taking a while, you might move the planchette once in a clockwise circle to get it going. Some people think it's necessary to warm up your planchette. Start with an easy yes or no question. Some spirits are stronger than others. A weak spirit may not be able to spell out long responses, so stick with easy questions at first. Later on, you can ask open-ended questions and see if your spirit can spell out words. Start with, can you hear us? Did you live in this house? Can you see us? Watch the planchette spell out an answer. When a spirit answers you, they'll slide the planchette to a point at different letters. Call out each letter to help you keep track of what the ghost is spelling. The planchette can move quickly or slowly. There's no wrong way. None of the players should be moving the planchette. That's for the spirits to do. If your board has a sun and a moon, the sun traditionally represents light spirits, and the moon represents dark spirits. If a spirit says they're bad, just say goodbye and try again later. You don't need to worry about the spirit hanging around after you close the session. Keep asking questions until the spirit stops talking or you get scared. Your Ouija board seance can be as long or as short as you like. As long as the spirits keep talking, continue asking questions. At the same time, it's best to call it quits if anyone in the group feels nervous. Ask questions like, what's your name? How old are you? When did you live? What did you like to do when you were alive? And what do you want to tell us? Be skeptical about what the board tells you. Ouija boards are super fun, but they're not always accurate. Spirits aren't able to see into the future, and they're not aware of everything that's happening everywhere. Your spirit guest isn't going to know who you're going to marry or when your bestie's going to die. Since ghosts can lie, take everything it says with a grain of salt. Since spirits are just like people, you might get rude or cheeky responses. It's best to just ignore these type of behavior. You could always ask to talk to someone else. Document all responses on the evidence analysis checklist. saying goodbye. Thank the spirit for talking to you. Ghosts don't have to talk to us, so it's kind to offer them a little appreciation. Say a quick thank you so the spirits know that you appreciate that they use their energy to communicate with you. Thank you for talking to us today. Thank you so much for your responses. We really appreciate your answering. Say goodbye to end the session. Don't ghost your new spirit pal. If you just leave, they might feel slighted. Some people believe that ghosts can linger around. Have your medium state out loud that you're ending the session. Say a friendly goodbye to the spirit and move the planchette so it's hovering over goodbye on the board. We're all finished today. Goodbye. Our seance is finished. Goodbye. Put your board away. Ideally, put your planchette in a pouch or turn it upside down so the spirit doesn't try to communicate using the board while you're away. Document on the form, Periodic Recordings Checklist. With all this being said, I hope that we can utilize the Ouija board as a new tool to investigate life after death without worrying those around us. We need to maintain respect for our loved ones, for our friends and family, and the ghosts and spirits, and of course, for ourselves. Thanks for watching.